Good morning, students. Today we will discuss about molecular diagnosis and what is the applicability of biotechnology in the field of molecular diagnosis. So, early diagnosis and understanding the pathophysiology. Diagnosis, what is the meaning of diagnosis? To diagnose or to find out any particular disease. Like for example, suppose the pathogen has entered into your blood. Then how the disease it can be diagnosed? By the appearance of symptoms. And if you want to find out how the pathogen that is causing the disease and what is the cycle, what is the life cycle of the pathogen inside the host, or what are the factors which are produced to produce the disease, then you have to study the pathophysiology. Patho is related to pathology. Pathology means the study of blood, the detection of blood, or any kind of the pathogen in the blood or in the body, so that is called pathology. And the physiology, or physiology, so that is the normal metabolism which is going on in the body. Okay, so earlier time the serum and the urine, so that was analyzed to find out the presence of any pathogen. Like for example, if there is urine infection is there, then the urine, by the analysis of the urine, which pathogen is there in the urine, so that can be diagnosed. So that was the early technique. But nowadays you can find out there are new technology which are used, and these technology they are recombinant DNA technique or PCR or ELISA. Because if you detect the disease at early stage, like for example some disease they are very dangerous. For example hepatitis B and the AIDS and cancer. Generally cancer is detected at last stage or the late stage. So if we can detect the disease at early stage, then the cure will be, the percentage of the cure will be more. Okay, and for this we are using the different technology or biotechniques. Now disease is diagnosed when number of pathogen is more and the symptoms appear, and PCR is used in case of AIDS and the cancer. As I told you, the disease will only appear by seeing the symptoms, because there is a development of the symptoms by the pathogen, and by seeing the symptom we can tell that this is this particular disease. But that time the number of pathogen is many more times. Now suppose you want to detect the disease at a very early stage when the number of pathogen is very less, like for example suppose you take the AIDS, which is a very dangerous disease, and the cancer also, then it is possible by PCR. PCR I have already explained you. So this is a technique to amplify or to multiply the number of foreign DNA. If there is only one DNA is present, then it is difficult to detect in the blood. If there are many more DNA you are getting, then it will be studied. It will be easy to study further. So the PCR technique, so that is used to find out an individual is having AIDS or cancer, and in this condition by using the technique we can multiply the DNA which has undergone mutation. Because we all human beings we are having cancerous genes are there, but they are not expressing. When they are expressing when they are coming in contact with any kind of carcinogen. So that means the gene has mutated. So to detect the mutated gene, either it is AIDS or in case of the cancer, you can find out we are using the PCR technique. Then what is probe? Probe is a radioactive DNA or the RNA which is introduced into the body. Like for example, suppose you take the cancer gene. Normal oncogene, so that is not expressing in all individuals in all conditions. Okay. Now the DNA, for example, we are taking DNA. The DNA, so that is tagged with radioactive element. And the DNA, there is technique is that how the DNA, so that is allowed to enter inside the body or inside the cell. Now, for example, suppose you take this is the cancer gene, normal gene, which is not producing the cancer. Okay. Now we are entering another DNA which is tagged with radioactive element, and this is called probe. This probe is having complementary gene or the complementary nitrogenous bases are there. If this is the normal gene for cancer and it is having a nitrogenous base sequence, we have entered the probe. The probe is having complementary bases and it is having the radioactive elements. Okay. if there is any change in the normal gene for cancer, now this probe will not make complementary base pair to that particular gene, and when we are taking photographs, then only you can see the probe, you will not be able to see the complementary base pair. Okay, so that is the importance of probe. Then what is ELISA? ELISA is a test which is based on antigen and the antibody reaction. Or if you know that when the pathogen is entering in the body, then it is producing a protein, the protein is called antigen. And with the help of the antigen, there is appearance of disease. Then our immune system, to control the pathogen, is producing another protein which is called antibody. So always the antibody, it can destroy the antigen. So if there is, for example, suppose you take AIDS, if by the blood test AIDS antigen or the antibody which is produced in the presence of AIDS antigen, they are detected in the blood, then that is a confirmatory test for AIDS. So the ELISA, so that is based on antigen antibody reaction. What are transgenic animals? Transgenic animals are the animals in which a foreign gene is added. And we can see how the gene expresses itself. All of you know that when any gene expresses itself, then there is formation of a particular protein, and the protein is responsible to express the character. So these kind of the animals, they are called transgenic animals. Like for example, suppose you take human chromosomes, there are 46 chromosomes are there, and all the chromosome mapping is complete. Now we know that in chromosome number 1, how many genes are there, what is the function of the specific gene, or how the gene is regulating itself. So that is only possible with the help of the transgenic animals. Now what are the uses of transgenic animals? To study the normal physiology and the development, study of disease, and to produce biological product. So to study the normal development and the physiology, how the growth is taking place. For example, suppose you take the human body, you know that from one single cell, the zygote, there is development of embryo, then from the embryo the baby is developing, then how the baby, the growth is taking place and it is converted into adult. So if you want to study the normal growth process and how the development, so that is taking place, then you can add a gene, specific gene in any animals, now which is called the transgenic animals, and then you can study how the gene is able to express itself, what kind of the protein so that is produced, and how the gene is able to express any particular character. The second is the study the disease. If you want to study the pathophysiology of any pathogen, for example, suppose you take malaria. Malaria is caused by plasmodium. If you want to study the life cycle of the plasmodium and how it is able to produce the disease, then you have to study with the help of the transgenic animals by adding any kind of the foreign gene. Okay. Now the third one is to produce the biological product. There are many biological products which are produced in the human body. They are also used to cure any particular disease. Like for example, suppose you take the disease emphysema. Emphysema is a disease which is related to lungs, and it can be cured by a human protein alpha-1 antitrypsin. All these examples you have to remember because you get in short question also. So in the human body, one protein is produced. The name of the protein, so that is alpha-1 antitrypsin, and it can cure the emphysema. But all these biological products, they are very expensive because they are produced in the human body. Now with the help of the transgenic animals, if we are able to produce all these biological products, then it will be cheaper. Similarly, another transgenic cow, Rosie, the name was given Rosie, and Rosie can produce a milk which is having the human protein, and it 2.4 gram of the protein, so that is found in 1 liter of the milk. So this milk is better for the human baby in comparison to the cow or the buffalo milk. Next point is vaccine safety. For example, suppose any new vaccine that is discovered. For example, suppose you take the corona and to develop corona vaccine. So that is not an easy task. Although you know the pathophysiology of the pathogen and you know which antibody is responsible to destroy the pathogen, then also immediately it cannot be tested on human beings. First the testing, so that was done on animals, transgenic animals. Then only after seeing the safety of the vaccine, then it can be used on human beings. So any kind of the new vaccine which is discovered, for the safety or for the testing, we are using transgenic animals. Now the last point is the chemical testing. For example, suppose any chemical compound so that was developed and you want to find out whether the chemical compound that is toxic or not toxic. Then that testing, so that is also done on transgenic animals. And transgenic animals, they carry gene which can make them more sensitive to toxic chemicals. One foreign gene is added to the transgenic animal's DNA, and now the animal is more sensitive to toxic or the poisonous compounds. So when the toxic chemicals they are given to transgenic animals, then the symptoms will immediately appear because they are more sensitive in comparison to non-transgenic animals. So these are all the uses of transgenic animals. Now we will discuss about ethical issue. Genetic Engineering Approval Committee. This is a government organization and it is set up to grant the research which is going on in genetically modified organisms. Because if you take ethics or you think from ethical or the moral point of view, the research cannot go on continuously because we are not having any rights to make any kind of DNA manipulation in any kind of animals or the organism. So this is not from a moral point of view, it cannot be allowed. Or we cannot allow to carry on the research in all different animals for our own benefit. So on the ground of the ethical point of view, the government has set up one organization which can allow what kind of the genetical modification research it can go on. And also the legal permission that is given to the inventor for any kind of product to sell. So what do you understand by the patent? Patent means, for example, an individual discovered any one particular product. Now the government is giving patent to that individual and the individual has the right to sell in the market. Like for example, suppose you take the movie. Now movie is also made by some particular individuals, so they are having the rights and they can sell the rights in the market. So that is called patent. But nowadays you can find out there are controversy over patent. For example, suppose you take basmati rice. Basmati rice is having Asian origin, and only in India itself you can find out there are 200,000 varieties of the basmati rice they are available in India. But recently USA government they sold the basmati rice in other countries and they told that this patent is given to USA and this variety so that is developed in USA. So there was a controversy because the actual origin, so that is in Asian country or the India is providing many basmati varieties and the patent which was claimed by USA, so that hybrid was developed by crossing an Indian variety and an American variety. So you can find out there are many controversies. For example, suppose you take the neem or you take haldi, turmeric, there also controversy are there because of many products which are sold in foreign countries, they claim for the patent. But the actual origin, so that is India. Because in the India, neem or the haldi, so that is used from ancient time. Then what is biopiracy? Biopiracy means using bioresources without proper authorization from the government. Like for example, neem. Neem is found in India. If any foreign country wants to make any product using neem, then the country has to take permission from Indian government. And if without taking permission they are taking a small plant of the neem and they are growing in their country, then that is called biopiracy. Piracy means चोरी. Okay? कोई भी बायोलॉजिकल रिसर्च जो है अगर इंडियन गवर्नमेंट के विदाउट परमिशन अगर कोई भी फॉरेन कंट्री उसको ले रहा है उसको यूज कर रहा है अपने प्रोडक्ट्स में या फिर वहाँ पर ग्रो कर रहा है डेवलप कर रहा है तो उसको हम बायोपायरेसी बोलते हैं. सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट दिस.